All right, court's now on the record, and this is Bell County calls number 24 DFAM 346139. This has three parties in it. It has an NCP of Crystalline C. Hostroff, CP Melissa Hahn, and other party is Rodolfo Rojas. Anyway, all right. The docket sheet is not showing that there was service data on any of the three parties. I'll ask the state for an opening to tell the court all three parties present and everything's been done by agreement, so I don't have to worry about that citation. Or is there? Well, I think I see two of the three. I see all of them, so never mind. So hopefully there's an agreement and I don't need a service thing. So at this time, I'll ask the state to go ahead and tell the court what the state and the parties are requested, and tell the court what that one issue that's not an agreement is. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. So all parties are present, and this was the same case when we did the temporary orders back in December. But parties had filed requests for court hearing in May of 2024. Dad did so in June of 24. And after the first amended pleading was done, Mom filed a request in January of this year, everyone already having seen and negotiated the temporary orders. The one contested issue, Your Honor, is for the exchange place for visitation as between biological mother, Ms. Hostrop, and maternal grandmother, Ms. Howen. The testimony will be that there is a 6-hour distance between the mother and Colleen, and the mother's request is to meet halfway, 3 hours in Abilene, and Ms. Howen is not in agreement. But everything as far as Mr. Rojas and Ms. Howen is agreed. We are making some changes to the temporary orders, Your Honor. Specifically, parties are in agreement that the younger child, Gianna, her surname will change from Howen to Rojas based on the DNA test results confirming Mr. Rojas as father. And additionally, Your Honor, we are adding retroactive support from Ms. Hostrop to Ms. Howen in the amount of $579.94. And that was roughly a 2-month period, Your Honor, from end of October 24 until our hearing date in December. And then we're actually going to take a cumulative judgment because she does owe arrears under the temporary order in the amount of $1,689. And we are adjusting her support beginning April 1 to reflect her current job, which is paying $9 an hour for 40 hours a week. So that comes out to 3 something. And then, Your Honor, as far as Mr. Rojas, we are adjusting his support based on him going to maintain health and dental for the children through his employment. And this court granted a deviation, so cut guideline support in half based on the amount of involvement he has with the children's day-to-day, and allowing Miss Howen to go to work and not pay for daycare. And so with the court's approval, we ask for a deviation to 233, which is half of the new support amount, 466, because father would maintain that private health and dental at a cost of $173.33 each month.
Guys, today we're stepping into a complicated 3-party custody case. Right from the start, the judge realizes this one isn't as simple as it looked.
All right, so the issue seems to be the visitation pickup and drop off.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, then, and that is with Miss that'll be Miss Hostroff.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you call them as witnesses, and we'll figure this out. Here's the problem, Miss Hostroff. Under the Texas Family Code, the non-custodial party is responsible for pickup and drop off of children. This is a brand new cause of action, so this is a Bell County cause of action. So long as the custodial party resides in Bell County, then under the Texas Family Code, if you're the non-custodial and you get visitation, it's your responsibility to pick up at the beginning of visitation and drop off at the beginning of the visitation, so long as that person lives in the county that the order is out of. So again, ma'am, I'll go ahead and let everybody tell me what they want to do and why they want to do it. But the code's pretty clear, so the responsibility becomes yours to do so. As far as that is concerned, ma'am, and I'll see why. I'll give you the opportunity to tell the court why it should be something different. But this time, I'm going to ask everybody involved, all three parties, if you can, turn on your videos. But no matter what, raise your right hands and let's get y'all all on the road. All right. Does everyone each of you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you? Say I
Yes.
will, please. And Ms. Hostrop, you're muted, ma'am. There you
Yes,
go.
yes.
All right. Everybody's officially under oath, and I'll go ahead and let the state call your first witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I first call Ms. Howen. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Melissa Howard,
Who are the children in this case?
Gianna and Sawyer.
And is it correct, ma'am, that you are their maternal grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to hear my opening statement to the court listing the agreements and disagreements?
Yes, ma'am.
And aside from those changes I noted, you were asking the court to confirm the provisions of the temporary order.
Yes, ma'am.
Specifically, the three of you remain joint managing conservators with most of the same rights and duties, while you are the primary.
Yes, ma'am.
And there is no geographic restriction for you, and each parent basically has the standard possession order, with the one thing being each of you provide where the visitation will occur using app close so all of your addresses can remain confidential.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, ma'am, was I correct in telling the court you have agreed to everything regarding Mr. Rojas and the children?
Yes, ma'am.
And as to Ms. Hostrop, you're also in agreement with all of the requests and changes I described, except for where she will pick up and drop off your grandchildren.
Yes, ma'am.
And is it correct, ma'am, that your request is for her to travel to and from your home as the pickup and drop off point, or someplace that you set in the app close?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anything else, ma'am, you wanted the court to consider specifically regarding the pickup and drop off?
I just wanted the judge to take into account that during our temporary order, she didn't see the kids at all during that time. So I think then, you know what I mean? Maybe that if she would have, maybe we would agree a little bit more. But without that being done, I think it's a little bit harder for us to do that.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll be back in just a moment. Let the state call your next witness, please.
The state calls Mr. Rojas. Sir, what is your full name?
Rodolfo Rojas.
And sir, were you able to hear my opening statement to the court describing the agreements and one contested issue?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you believe that that is an accurate description and that the court should approve it as it's in your children's best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything to add, sir, based on what the court is currently considering?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, again, sir, I'll be back to you to see if there's anything else you wish to add, but I'll go ahead and let the state call the final witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Ms. Hostrop. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Crystalline Hostrop.
And ma'am, were you able to hear my opening statement to the court describing all of the agreements and the one contested issue?
Yes.
Was that accurate?
Yes.
And so, ma'am, why is it that you're asking this court to order that you and Ms. Howen or someone and you meet to exchange the children for visitation halfway between your current residence and Colleen?
So I live, like you said, I live 6 hours away. It's not very close. And then also, I don't have my own vehicle, so I also have to rely on somebody else to give me transportation to be able to get there and also make it back home and stuff like that too. So that also takes into account, and I'm also taking up their time, and it's not just mine. And also, I get that they're my kids and everything. And also, I was trying to see my kids during the time with the whole temporary period. The whole issue was that I couldn't get there in time, or like that I couldn't schedule it out far enough, or as soon as that I heard back from somebody giving me like an actual okay answer, my mom would just tell me, oh, it's already too late. It's already past the 2 week mark. Like now you're gonna have to wait 4 weeks and then we can try again then. And honestly, to me, I don't think that that's fair, seeing as how Rodolfo gets them on Wednesdays and Thursdays, like how he always has, but I have to follow the order and I have to get them only like, and I get it, like
Hey,
it's our
ma'am,
decision.
sorry, ma'am. You're rambling on me. Here's the
Okay,
deal.
I'm sorry.
It sounds like you have the order that everybody else in your circumstance normally would have. I got people out in El Paso all over the place, and they get that order. But the bottom line is, it's your responsibility to take care of it. The legislature was kind of clear on that. If you're the person that's getting the visitation, it falls upon you to make the plan and get it done. I know it may be kind of difficult for someone in your circumstances at this point, but I would have to have a legal reason to order her to do something like that. And in the 20 plus years I've been doing this, I've probably done that 2 or 3 times out of the thousands of cases I've done. And there were very, very unique circumstances, ma'am. And I understand this the financial burden and everything else, but people who live your distances away, they plan out in advance. Like I say, I got people out in El Paso. They only get to see their kids 2 or 3 times a year, but they plan well in advance to do it because, again, obviously travel's a problem. But again, the law is, ma'am, that's your responsibility as the non-custodial party. And I think
Okay.
they're close enough by that he's able to do that. Again, obviously, you can't move unless you can move closer. This is what you're probably looking at going forward, ma'am. Just like everybody else. So I'll
Okay.
go let the state ask you another question, and then at the end of the hearing, ma'am, I'll ask you, is there anything else that I need to consider if I want to come up with something different? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And ma'am, when you mentioned that Mr. Rojas gets to see the children on Wednesdays and Thursdays like he used to, are you aware of him leaving where he used to live?
I'm not sure of that, no.
Okay.
I
And
just
as
know
far
that he obviously still lives in the area if he can see them more often.
okay. Anything else, ma'am, you wanted the court to consider on this issue?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, ma'am. Is there anything else you want to tell me at this point? Because again, the code's kind of clear on this one. This is the way it's been for the last 40 years. That pick up and drop off is at the custodial party's residence until so long as they live in the county that they're in. And then if she even moved just to Austin, then it's your responsibility to pick the child up from Austin, and her responsibility to pick the child up at the end of visitation from you. So unless that circumstance has changed, then that's what I'm looking at doing. So is there anything else you think I need to know, ma'am?
No.
All right then. And I'll come back to and does anyone else have anything else I need to know? And I keep wanting to call it say Han, but how you pronounce that last name again, ma'am?
Howen,
Howard. Okay, Miss Howard. Anything else, ma'am?
no, sir. And I just want to touch on Rodolfo getting the kids. He's made it a point to make sure he is a part of their life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's just,
Yes, ma'am. When she says he does that, that sounds, that's obviously that's voluntarily, unless you're driving up to his house, making him come out at gunpoint and jumping in the car with the kids. So no, I know that's not happening. So there. So yes, ma'am. I get it. Anything else then, ma'am?
no, sir.
All right, Mr. Rojas. Anything else from you, sir?
No, sir.
All right, folks. I'm looking at granting all the agreements, and again, sorry, ma'am, but I'm going to go along with what the family code requirements are and make it your responsibility for the pickup and drop off. Obviously, ma'am, at those distances and with your financial circumstances, you got to plan ahead of time and just try to get that done. Save up, save up enough. Fly in for the weekend and pick the kids up for the weekend and stay in town for the weekend. It is what it is. So there's always more than one way to do this, and you probably just need to figure that out. Because again, I do have parents all the time. I got a gentleman up in Maryland who flies in once a month to see his kids in Killeen. Okay, and he picks them up. He stays in Killeen, and then he flies back out the next on the following Monday. So so whatever you need to do, just think out a little bit outside the box and try to figure it out, and confirm your pickup and drop off with the grandmother, and it'll probably work out a little better, ma'am. Thank you. All right, Ms. Bonga, anything else, ma'am?
No, Your Honor. Because of the lateness of the hour, I'm just going to draft this and send to parties through DocuSign within the next day or so.
All right, folks, y'all all free to go. Good luck to y'all and the kids, and the state will be sending y'all that order. And thank you very much. And we're off the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mom explains the distance, money struggles, and missed chances. The judge cuts in fast, making it clear that hardship doesn't override the law. The judge delivers the final ruling with no room for doubt. Responsibility is set, expectations are clear, and the case comes to a close. If you found this breakdown helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.